Oh, the Wimmera Footy League, exciting week of matches. Pretty exciting when the Warwick Eagles get cracking and Scotty Stewart. It'd be none more exciting writing in the pages of the Warwick Herald. Scotty, how are you?
Yeah, we're going all right, thanks, Wayne.
Well, this is a big win. I just feel that it's a turning point in the Eagles. I'm going to sort of put it out there. My theory on this is that you've been blooding for the last 2 years a whole heap of really good kids. Cole Cheney, Matty Ench come into the club to help Ryan McKenzie. Might be just short that one real big quality big man, maybe a good goal kicking forward. But I'll tell you what, the turning point I think mentally is that you beat the D's, and that hasn't happened in a long while, and that is a big win for the Warwick Eagles, 11-9 to 10-9.
Yeah, definitely right what you say there, and hit the nail on the head. I think it's been 8 years since the Eagles have knocked over Horsham. So, it's 2014. I think you've got to go back to was the last time that happened. So, it's a bit of a drought in that sort of situation. But, look, they did it pretty well, and it was slightly windy conditions, bit of an advantage, and the Eagle home team, the Eagles, they took advantage of that after half-time. They come out and banged on 4 quick goals, and you look at the scoreboard there at half-time. It's only a couple of points separating the teams, and then 6 goals to 3 in the third quarter broke the game open a little bit. But it was the fact that the Eagles, I think they kicked 6 of the next 7 goals in that third quarter, so they got themselves out to about a 5-goal advantage. And as we can see, the final scores there, it's down to 6 points. So the Horsham boys, they hit back in that last quarter with the aid of that breeze. But the Eagles were able to put a couple on the board and hang on by 6 points.
They did. Daniel Penny, very good with 3, and Alistair McRae, good support act. But Charlie Penny can play. We're mentioning about the young guns. Lockie Stewart, your nephew, can get the ball. Matty Johns and Ryan McKenzie, a seasoned performers, and Carl Cheney, the veteran, showing the way. This was a sensational win. Rona Conboy with 3 for his side, Janetsky, and Josh Meebus, Jordan Motton also booting 2 goals for them. The other matches, though, having a look, Southern Valley Giants got nailed by Minya Matoa, but really in the last quarter, and the Giants maybe running out of legs, and that's a bit of a concern. They also, a couple of injuries out of that game with Hayden Drew and Lou White going out.
Yeah, I did hear that. They finished basically that last quarter with no bench last week. They caught their share of injuries, and yeah, you can tell there at 3/4 time scores a level, but then they held scoreless in that last quarter as the Boroughs kicked away in the last quarter. I was pretty surprised. I really did have my money on the Giants to win that, but then hearing the stories that they suffered a few injuries, and you're finishing the last quarter with no bench against Minya Matoa. It's not going to end well for you, and unfortunately for them, that's the way it was at the end of the day. They suffered their first loss of the season, but they'll bounce back, and the Boroughs, they'll be pretty happy with that performance, I would imagine, and they'll take a fair bit of confidence out of that one.
Yeah, they're 4-0 in the seniors and in the reserves, and their reserves were dominating against a nearly full strength Southern Valley Giants. So you just, where can other sides equal this massive Boroughs lineup? They are just the current the best side in the Wimmera footy. Everyone's got that as the benchmark to go for, and that's the key. But Stall 11-11, they're looking to set a benchmark and make the finals this year. They beat the Horsham Saints 6-6, and I don't know if I can call it. Should I call it, Scotty? Are the Saints now in deep trouble at missing the finals?
Well, you could nearly call it on current form. We don't know what's going to happen in the next little bit, but look, on current form, you'd say they're going to have a bit of a battle. This weekend's game will be interesting for them, but that one last weekend, they set themselves up in the first quarter with a couple of goal advantage, but just struggled to hit the scoreboard after, especially in that second quarter, obviously, where they were held scoreless, but a couple of goals in each of the third and fourth terms while Storm was going on with their sort of 4 goals per quarter. So they did the job there, and they sit there in fifth position at the moment, Stall, and that was a pretty important win for him in the context, throughout as we hit the mid part of the season, and then push on throughout the second half of the year. So important 4 points for Stall on that one, I reckon.
I reckon exactly right. You've got to beat the other sides that could be competing for the spot on the ladder that you're competing for, and the fifth place is that one for Stall. And the Saints, that's where they will hope to get to if they finish the season well. Our Rat will finish the season well. They've got a good side, 12-14. Dimboola 6-6. They more than doubled their score, and Dimmy aren't a bad outfit. So how good are the Rats?
That's right. Like we spoke about it last week, this was going to be a good indicator. There's someone that with our Rat, and just a point on that one there, with making note through the team lists, and I think we spoke about him last week. The key forward, Tommy Mills, he ticked 22 goals in the first 3 games. He didn't play last week. I'm not sure if he was injured or unavailable there. So that just adds a little bit of extra to that win for our Rat with a 7-goal win, and didn't have their key forward in there. So tracking along pretty good, I would imagine, the Rats, and they'll be pretty confident at the minute, sitting on top of the ladder with a pretty good percentage and undefeated record.
And what about this weekend's matches? There's a couple of absolute beauties. One of them is Nil taking on the Saints. Now, we just mentioned before, not calling it, but saying it's getting to desperate times for the Saints. They play Nil, and at Coghlan, they were shocking last outing at Coghlan. They got nailed there. So is this a chance for Nil to get their first win of the season?
As we said before about these indicators, it's they happen throughout the year, and this is going to be a big one, isn't it? The Saints up against Nil. Both teams haven't cracked it yet for a win, but one of them will break through this weekend, and the Saints on their home track. It will be a pretty hard nut to crack, but who knows? Real interesting scoreline come Saturday evening with this one. Maybe you'd say the Saints because they're on their home ground, but you mentioned there before the last time they were there, it didn't pan out too well for them. So, but a real good test for both sides, I reckon. Nil, the young side, they'll be gelling pretty well. They're all, as I say, they're all young kids and they're all locals, and they play some good footy together as a team. So if they can do that, they could put that first win on the board. But the Saints will be pretty keen to make amends and get that first win on the home ground.
Yeah, I reckon will they do that? It'll be great to see if either side gets their first win for the year. For Nil, I think if I tip Nil, I'd be looking a little bit on the outer. I reckon I might just go with Saints just. Dimboola and Stall. Well, this one is an interesting one at Dimmy because Stall, again, got to keep winning matches. But Dimmy, I think if they can get this, they got a -4 on there. Just one more win needed to get to 0. They will run out of time. They have to beat Stall this week, Dimboola, to keep their finals chances alive.
Yeah, that's a definite, isn't it? With the point you brought there, with they're still sitting on -8. Needing 2 wins to get it back to 0. So, and this one I think will be a must for them this weekend on their home deck there to get a win, because as you say, it's going to make it pretty hard if they drop this one, and they're still trying to get back to 0 before they make their mark, and trying to push up into higher up in the ladder. So I think they will this weekend. I reckon they'll bounce back after last week. The indicator of last week against our Rat, they did come up short, but towards the end of the day, they've got some quality players throughout that lineup, haven't they? So once they all click together, it'll be a good day for the Roos, and I just got a feeling I reckon that might be this weekend, and I reckon they might just prove a little bit too strong for Stall, and they might just wipe another 4 points away there.
I reckon they will. Our Rat get to Warwick Eagles at Alexandra. Tough ask for your boys going down there to the Rats. Look, if they can put the brand of football they played last week on the park again, and these kids can really put themselves in that midfield place, I just feel the scoring power of our Rat. They're kicking big scores of 20 goals a week. I think that could be hard for your defensive unit. Kyle Cheney may have to go back and take one of the Rats' big forwards like Mills.
Yeah, that's right. And as you say there, the wide expanses of Alexander Oval, they obviously they suit our Rat. That's their home ground. They love playing it, and they know how to play it. The young kids for the Eagles, that'll be a real good chance. They wanted to stretch their legs and put a bit of fitness to the test against the Rats. They got some interesting names. It was funny, sort of reporting on that game this week, and a lot of their recruits, they're prominent in their best players or their goal kickers at the moment. You look at, you'll read them out shortly, the Kettle and Armstrong and Hutchison and blokes like this. They're all the new boys that have come into this side. So they're obviously gelling pretty well with the other Rat lads that are taking the field. They've got a couple of returnees, our Rat too. Just a couple that spring to mind, and I remember these kids a few years ago, Alan Batchelor and Lem Kavanagh, good players, and obviously just slotting back into this side pretty well. So they'll be hard to beat. I think the Eagles, they suffered a bit of an injury setback last week with one of their forwards, which is Jake Cheney. He copped some fractured ribs in a bit of a collision there, and so he's going to be missing for probably the next 4, 5, 6 weeks this week. So that's a bit of a loss for the Eagles to down back there. But look, Danny Bell, the coach, he'll be keen. He'll be taking a bit of confidence out of last weekend, and as you say, get the kids firing, get them running, and move the ball down to into the end of attack. You never know what'll happen. But a tough ask down there at Alexander Oval, but the Eagles will give it a good shot.
Give it a shot. Southern Valley Giants get Horsham D's at Horsham City. I think the Giants will bounce back from last week, and I think they'll get home.
Yeah, I'd be saying that too. It's they are at Horsham City Oval, but and Horsham became to make amends for that narrow loss last weekend. But again, it's just another good indicator, isn't it? As to how they're going to line up. As at the moment, you're looking at Ararat, Minimataur, and Horsham Saints are the top three. You got your Stawell, Horsham, and Warwick Eagles at the moment, and Dimbull is in that mix, but they've still got to wipe away that deficit. But it'll be a real good indicator as the final results there on Saturday evening with the Giants. But I probably do agree with you. I think they've just got a lot of depth. He's talked about there before. They did cop a couple of injuries from last week, but they do have a bit of depth in their senior list. So and they'll be keen to make amends for that loss to Minimataur last week. So I'd be tipping the Giants, but it should be a pretty good game, this one.
Should be, and Tim McCormack and Declan Brown come into that side, along with Sam Bromley-Lynch coming back from injury, and out goes Sam Waddell, Lou White and Hayden Drew, 3 real senior footballers there. So big losses. It could be closer than what it might have been, but I still think the Giants on the day. It's a big weekend of Wimmera football. Scotty, look forward to hearing your comments from the Warwick Herald next week as we do it all again.
Yeah, good on you, Wayne. No worries.